Good morning. Rise and shine, rise and shine. Time for your little motivation this morning. I'm going to come to you live, get a little extra. You say, hey, we can multitask. We can get healthier physically, and we can get healthier emotionally, and we can get healthier mentally. So that's what we're going to do this morning. So I want to welcome you guys here this morning to the Mindset Motivation. Again, where we get a chance to share some principles, share some things that can help you in your mindset, help to motivate yourself. Big James, what's up, baby? California love, man. What's up? Hey, man. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. Miss you, man. Wish you guys was back here, but I know you out there doing your thing. So good to holler at you, man. Bucky, what's up, Chief? How you doing, man? Taking care of that family. Big Danny Fro, still spinning the wheels, still doing your thing on the DJ. You know what I mean? Keep it up, bro. Best things ahead. Great things ahead. Want to welcome you guys this morning again. Go ahead and share these messages as we get going. I'm going to kind of get right into it a little bit. Here's the main question this morning. Do you have a vision for your life? How many of you know how important it is to have a vision for your life? You know, I was sitting there, we were talking to the wife recently, and you know, we're going on what, in November, we're going on 4 years of marriage, you know, 5 years together. And one of the things that she told me when we first got together, she said one of the things that she fell in love with is, and that really attracted from the very first night we met, was that after I met her in the Zumba class, and I came out and I hollered at her and said, hey, you want to get something to eat? We showered up in different places, went and got something to eat. When we sat down, we began to get to know each other. I began to tell her the things in my heart. I began to tell her what the vision that I had and the things that I was doing. I was telling her about the camps that I was doing, the sports camps. I was telling her about the life camps that I was doing for the families. I was telling her about the things I was doing with the NFL. I was telling her about the things I was doing with speaking. And what she said she fell in love with was the vision. Because she saw somebody that wasn't just talking about a dream, but actually had a vision. They actually not only had a vision, but they were working and walking out that vision. And I think that in life, until you establish a vision for yourself personally, until you establish a vision for your relationships, until you establish a vision for your business, for those that you serve, it's like a ship without a sail. And so again, one of the things that we realized in our marriage, okay? And again, I tell you, I'm always going to be very transparent because I believe through authenticity comes healing and comes help. And the next level. And so what we found out happening is that I laid all these things out in the beginning of my marriage. In the beginning about what I was doing. And every year, all the way up to now, I have been constantly working on those things. Things have been coming to pass. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's books, whether it's dealing, whatever it was. But here's what I realized. Here's what I realized in my relationship. You know, we realized this year. We realized that even though she set out her vision of what she wanted to do, and she was doing, and even though I set out my vision on what I wanted to do and what I was doing, we had not clearly established what was the vision for us together. Now, granted, here's what that meant. And this kind of dropped into me, man, as if the clouds opened up and God downloaded something. We were having any type of issues or conflict, and here's why. We were living off of the residue of our companionship instead of developing the components of our relationship. We were living off of the residue of our companionship instead of developing the components of our relationship. Now, what did that mean? That meant that when we got together, the companionship, how we felt about each other, how we was enjoying our company together, what we learned about each other very early on, the personality, the spirit, everything. It was just companionship. Like, man, I just want to be around you. I want to be with you. You know, this, that, and the other. And we were celebrating that. But how many of you know without a vision, the people perish? And so you think about that. We were living off of the residue over the last few years, if you will, of our companionship. So we're still celebrating the things we celebrated. But if you don't establish a vision for yourself, and for your relationships, then what happened is you'll live off the residue. And so we realize that, you know what? We have to develop the components of our relationship. And developing the components of a relationship has everything to do with what is the vision? Where do you want to go? What do we want to do? So here's one of the things that we did, and I share with you if you're in a relationship. What we did is we actually wrote down on a list. We set time apart right after we realized that. And we said, let's do it now. Let's write down a list of all the things that we just need to talk about. All the areas that we need to have some type of discussion so we can set a vision for. So what did we do? We just started to think, what are some of those areas that we just want to talk about? Because how many of you guys know that if you just keep going, it's like being in a river. The river never stops moving. And if you're in that river, you're going to start drifting. And if you're not intentional on where you're going and what you're doing, you can find yourself in a different place than you planned. How many people feel that way or experience that in life? You look up and like, man, I don't know where I get here because I've been drifting unless you're being intentional. So what we did is we wrote down a list, and in that list we wrote down all the different things, everything from our children, okay? Remember saying her daughter, my daughters. I talk about our home, vacations, many vacations, friends, family, our spiritual development, our finances, and all I did is just list them. We didn't go in deep into them yet. We just listed them. Here's the benefit of that. And I didn't even know I'm going to talk about relationships today, but here we are, right? And so what we did is we listed them out. And then now we designate time. Now we set it to where it's a date. Now we say, okay, babe, when we're going to come together and let's just start talking about the list. And here's the benefit of it. Because as we talk about it, each one, I get a chance to hear her thoughts about what she thinks about it, what's on the inside of her, the components, the vision that she sees in that area, and she gets to hear me. And then together, we get a chance to talk about what is the we. What do we agree on? What do we see? Because if you're living off of the residue of your relationship, of your companionship, and not the components of your relationship, then you'll find out that, wait a minute, we used to think that way years ago, but now we're a little different. Time has passed. And so where are we at now? And so again, we did that, and we're doing that. And I tell you what, if you're in a relationship, it's one of the most powerful things you can do. Because here's one of the benefits. Number one, everybody feels like they're heard. Everybody feels like they have input. Everybody feels like their voice matters, their ideals matter, and it also allows you to be able to change in life. I was thinking that way before, but here's how I'm thinking now, due to life, due to circumstances, due to just how I view life. And so again, setting that out started with writing down the ideas, the areas that we wanted to talk about. And don't leave nothing off the table. Put everything in there. Every single thing. The dishes, you know what I'm saying? House cleaning, you name it. Put it in there. So that way you can talk about what individuals' expectations are. Here's another exercise. Here's another exercise along the same vein that I like to do in my relationship. And it comes down to expectations. It comes down to expectations. So here's what it is. Typically, how many times in relationships have you been with someone and you don't do exactly what they expected, they get disappointed, they shut down, they shut you out, they turn away, and all of a sudden you got this downhill slide. That's because they set the expectation for what they want you to do. And when you didn't meet it, when the expectations don't meet reality, then disappointment sets in. And so here's one of the things that I do, and that I did, and that I recommend for you. Instead of the other person putting expectations on you, what I did is I wrote down 20 things that my wife can expect from me. 20 things that she can expect from me as a husband, okay, as a father, you know what I mean, as a man of God, as a brother. Here's 20 things that she can expect from me, and I gave that to her. Here's the benefit of that. The fact that I determined what she can expect from me allowed me to start with my character. It allowed me to start with my values. It allowed me to make a commitment to who that I believe that I am and who that I believe I want to display and share with the world and share with her. And so now, when it comes to us relating to each other, now instead of her Instead of me trying to live up to the standard that she set for me, I already set the standard. And all she's able to do now, and now she's doing now, is helping me hold myself to that standard. Help me hold myself to the standard. And so at the end of the day, if I do something different that doesn't align with what I say she can expect out of me, she can just point back to the list. Hey babe, you said this is what you said I can expect out of you. Right now, there's some mixed signals going on right now, and I just want to address it. You know what I mean? What do you think about it? Bam. Versus, hey, nigga, there you go again. Here we go. I'm out. Where the papers at? What? So again, remember this. The power of this, of you writing down what someone can expect out of you. This can work not only in your relationship, this can work in your job. This can work in your life. This can work with your children. Have your children write this down. You write this down. You write it down for your children as well. What can they expect out of you as parents? What can you expect out of yourself? You see, I think not only do you need to make that list for your relationship, you need to make that list for the relationship for yourself. What can you expect out of you? And then you hold yourself to that standard. So that's the exercise for today. I know I said, hey, this is part of creating your vision, baby, because we gotta set aside time to write these things down. Okay? So here's a couple things that I want you to do. Okay, as we get ready to close this, here's a couple things, here's your assignment. Okay, I want you to set your vision. In setting your vision, number one, we gotta set aside time. Set aside time to reflect. To really reflect about and understand yourself. Set aside time to reflect and understand yourself. Just sit there, without a whole lot of things you gotta do. Just set time away. Think about your past. Think about your present. Think about your future. Just reflect. Just allow yourself that time. Because if you do it as one of the to-do list, how many times you know that if it's just something to do, okay, versus something to be, or someone to be, then a lot of times it doesn't get your full attention. So set aside time for you to reflect, for you to understand your situation. And then next thing I want you to do is I want you to think about this. What is your foundation in which you view life? What is your foundation in which you view life? If you had glasses and that was the perspective that you put on how you view life, what's giving you your parameters? What's giving you your guidance post? Is it just what you see in the news? Is it just what you hear on the radio? Is it just what's happening in the hip hop world? Is it just what's happening over here, over there? What's giving you your perspective in life? What is your foundation? You know, for me, it's the Bible. And the Bible is basically my constitutional documents, my constitutional amendment from the country of heaven that tells me my rights, tells me what I can expect, tells me what I can do, what I should do to get my big peak performance. That's my guiding post. So I believe that as the absolute truth and inspired truth that can give me the guidance that I need to live a life of love, of laughter, of relationship, of commitment, of perseverance, of dedication. Okay? And so again, what is your foundation? What is your foundation? What are you holding on to? What is the building rock and the perspective and the glasses in which you're viewing your life? Because if today is this and tomorrow is that, you're like a ship without a sail being tossed to and from. You're like a double-minded mind. You're unstable in all his or her ways. That means you can't be trusted. You can't even trust yourself. So ask yourself, what is my foundation? What is my absolute truth? What is it? Because I got to build my life on something. I can build it on firm foundation, concrete, or I can build it on sand. Either way, it's your choice. So again, set aside time to reflect. Determine what it is you want. And then I want you to basically look at your life and I want you to say, okay, what are the things that you can that someone can expect out of you in your relationships? Okay? What is they can expect? Then I want you to, what can somebody respect yourself expect out of you? What can you expect out of yourself? I want you to write another list. And if you're a parent, I want you to write that list as well. And that's where I want you to start. You see, this vision post, this is a conversation that we're going to continue to have. I'm going to come back on again another time. We'll continue to go because I want to walk you through this. I want to show you that, listen, it doesn't just happen, you know what I mean, because you just had a thought and today you You didn't have spaghetti last night, so you woke up feeling good today. No, it is a process. You got to be strategic with it. And so you got to understand the principles of it. There's things that's happening in life. You're like, how in the world is this happening? Well, that's what I'm here to do as a coach, as a friend, you know what I'm saying, the brother, to walk alongside, to give you the encouragement that you need, to let you know ain't nothing wrong with you. We're just all unique and complicated individuals. It's like a machine, baby. We're the masterpiece. And living this life, we're continuously discovering our purposes and learning more about ourselves and who we are and how we are and what we're here to do. So as we do that, that's my encouragement to you. Listen, I hope today's message was encouraging to you about living out your vision, understanding, even in a relationship. Don't live off the residue of your companionship, but build upon the components of your relationship by setting a vision. We talked about, again, writing down that list of all the different things in your relationship that you need to talk about, and then setting some time to come together. And instead of talking about the latest song, the latest thing in the news, the latest thing that's going on in your job, no, talk about this list. Talk about these areas. Revisit this stuff. So that way you can get a firm foundation. Every once in a while, you start traveling on a journey. You got to check your GPS. You got to check the instruments. You got to make sure, are we on the right track? Are we thinking differently? Are we thinking the same? So we can go in the same direction. Okay? And then I talked about setting some time to reflect. Reflect and understand yourself. Just think back to your life. Okay? Just think back. And here's one of the exercises I want you to do with that. And it's actually in my book, and I talk about it. Next Level Motivation. It's an exercise called Redefining Your Adversity. If you've been on here, you heard me talk about it. It's where I want you, as you're trying to understand your past, present, and future, it's very important for you to do this. On one side, I want you to write down what are like the top 5 things in your life, the top 5 challenges that you faced in your life, okay? The things that really were turning points. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, there was a divorce. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, for us, man, we had moved to a homeless shelter when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was going through a divorce. Maybe it was the loss of a loved one. Maybe it was losing a job. Maybe it was an accident. Whatever it was, what are the top 5 things? Top 5 challenge areas, that biggest adversities that's been turning points in your life. I want you to write them down on a list. And then right next to it, after you write them down, I want you to think about what is, in your wisest perspective, what is the lesson that it taught you? What did that situation bring about in you that brought you to where you are right now? You see, for me, in a lot of situations, my humble beginnings led me to live the life I'm living now. It built in me a hunger. It built in me a thirst for other people, to bless, to encourage, to make sure that no matter where you at, because of where you live should not determine if you live. You know what I mean? The fact that you know you don't have a whole lot doesn't mean that you're not worth a whole lot. Basically, listen, man, you don't have to have more to be worth more. That you're already a masterpiece. And so my beginnings, my adversity, gave me the ability to bring out a thirst, a hunger, a passion for people. And so where I can look at life and I can say this wholeheartedly, that I love people and I use money and not the other way around. And my love for people is built on the basis of the fact that I know I didn't have, and I know what that did to me. But in my not having certain things, I had everything. And so again, on one list, write down your adversity. On the other list, write down what are the things that it taught you? What are the lessons you learned? Who have you become because of it in a positive way? Because as you reflect upon it, here's the great thing about it. When you define it, it means more to you versus when somebody else tells you what you should have got out of it. And so listen, that's what I want you to do. That's where I want you to start. That's all I want you to start. We got a couple lists I already went in there. Remember, share this message with other people. We're walking on a journey. Hey, I'm walking right now, baby. I got my 30-pound kettlebell in my back. You know what I'm saying? Walking on the incline hill. We're walking this thing out. It's time for you to walk it out too. Let's walk together. Listen, if you got any questions from this conversation, any other things you want me to go deep into, definitely go ahead and post your comments. Let me know about it, all right? That's what we're here. That's what we're here for. All right, to have this conversation to help you take your life to the next level. Listen, I want to give a shout out to everybody that got a chance to come on this morning. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube page where I post a lot of these videos. You'll see a lot of other stuff. We're doing a whole lot more videoing, a whole lot more posting and video and creating a lot of content. But I want to hear from you. What is the content that you want me to create? What are the thoughts that you want me to speak on? What are the topics? What do you need to hear? What do you desire to hear? What does your children need to hear? What do your coworkers need to hear? Because I'm a way that I can be that mouthpiece for you. So that way you're like, man, you know what? If I say this, they're going to reject it. But like, you know what, man? You ever hear you like the Jaguars? Like, yeah, I like the Jaguars. You remember Double D? Yeah, I remember Double D. Well, guess what? I was watching on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and he was talking about something, and, you know, and I thought it was interesting. And I want to get your feedback on it. If I send you the link, would you listen to it and give me your feedback? Oh, sure, yeah, I love Double D. He was a hard hitter, this, that, and the other. Listen, man, you like Navy SEAL in that thing right there, right? They think they're coming for one thing, but you giving them something else. So again, let me know what you know what I'm saying, where can we grow together at, all right? So again, you know what I'm talking about. Let's do it together. Want to appreciate everybody for coming on. Thank you guys. If you haven't seen this, go back and watch it again. It's going to be important for you to watch it again because you can't just get it one time. All right, so listen, have a great day. Love you guys. God bless you, man. Make this the best day of your life. Better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow because you only keep getting better. You guys have a great day today. Peace out.